Everyone, this is our fallacy presentation on post hoc ergo propter hoc and hasty generalization. I am Adam Walsh.
I'm Ashton South.
I am Brian Nunez.
And I'm Amar Baines.
So our first fallacy is post hoc ergo propter hoc, and it says that if event X happens after event Y must have caused event X. And this is similar to saying showing how correlation does not mean causation. Two events might be correlated, but it doesn't mean that event Y must have caused event X. This does specify that it is a series of events that is being correlated but not caused. An example here is shown that if a rooster crows and the sun comes up after that, then therefore the rooster must have made the sun come up with its crow. But of course, that might not be true. The origin of this, it derives from Aristotle's book Rhetorics, in which he said that people say that because A happens after B, it must have caused, B must have caused A. And this line is popular among politicians because they can imply that an event caused another one when there could have been no correlation, no causation, of course, and that can be used to push for their arguments. The translation from Latin is translated to after this, therefore because of this. And this is generally referred to as just post hoc. And though it might seem like good retroductive reasoning, looking back, it could be logical, but the events obviously could not have any connection.
All right, on to the example of post hoc ergo propter hoc. For this example, I decided to share a clip from the Big Bang Theory.
Oh, hi, Mom. No, I told you I'd call you when I got home. I'm not home yet. All right, I'm home. The Arctic expedition was a remarkable success. I'm all but certain there's a Nobel Prize in my future. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm entirely certain. No, Mother, I could not feel your church group praying for my safety. The fact that I'm home safe does not prove that it worked. That logic is post hoc ergo propter hoc. No, I'm not sassing you in Eskimo talk.
All right, in that example, Sheldon's mom is basically arguing that her son making it home safely is due to her church group praying for him. This, however, is an example of the logical fallacy post hoc because it lacks evidence, and as we've learned, correlation does not mean causation. Just because the praying preceded a safe return home for Sheldon does not mean that praying was the cause. Another example can be found in the Book of Bad Arguments on page 21, although there the fallacy is titled Not a Cause for Cause.
All right, and our next fallacy is hasty generalization, which is basically the conclusion that is reached from unjustified or unbiased evidence. It's basically drawing a conclusion on just a small sample size rather than looking at the whole. Some of the alternative names for this fallacy are faulty generalization, overgeneralization, lonely fact fallacy, and they're all just other words for a biased generalization and just jumping to conclusions. You can see the format that is laid out is sample one is taken from population Y. Sample one, which is a very small portion of that population, has quality X. Therefore, population Y has quality X. So an example of that is in the image to the right, which says 2 equals a number, 1 equals a number, and then therefore 2 must equal 1. So it's all just examples of how they're jumping to conclusions without looking at the entire thing, and it's just based on a small sample.
So this is an example I chose for a hasty generalization.
Yo, what's up? I'm just not feeling it.
last name ever, first name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with. Started off local.
So in this example, Drake is in the recording studio and he isn't performing well, so he decides to take a break and drink a Sprite. So when he drinks the Sprite, the commercial shows his internal engines being activated, and he's able to sing the rest of his chorus with full energy. And so the commercial hints that you can count on Sprite to refresh you and help you perform better. And Sprite uses a well-known music star like Drake to target his audience into thinking that if they want to be like Drake, that they should drink Sprite. And the fallacy here is that every time you drink Sprite, you will have the same reaction Drake had, and a sense of powerful renewed energy and motivation. And the whole point of this commercial is to demonstrate that if you aren't in your element, then drinking Sprite will refresh you and help you overcome any obstacles that you are having. But at the same time, just because Drake drank the Sprite and it helped him perform better doesn't mean that it'll do the same for you.
All right. And here are just our references, and that will conclude our presentation on the fallacies post hoc and hasty generalization.